Hi, guys. You're on the Nocturnal Feeding with James from Fish Room Fever and me, Chattanooga Ed. We're going to have Sean Peck here soon. And tonight, we're going to open it up for any questions that you guys want. James will be reading them. As Sean and I, we're going to paint miniatures live while we do our thing. So a little different than our normal setup. James, oh, that looks so cool. That actually looks really cool. Okay, but James, it just never stops.
It does.
It never stops. Okay, well, James, could you say thank you so I could pop up the chat window real quick?
Absolutely.
Not thank you, but hellos.
So I'm going to do the typical hello real quick, and then we'll come back to those super chats and stickers. Hello to Deborah Lewis, Dave's Aquarium Thoughts, Perdule Singh, Pepley Creek Aquatics, Rich T, John Cox, Colored Guppies, Danikin Aquatics, Pride Morse Fish and More, Colored Guppies again, Sarah J. Sieber, Sandy Doty, Rico Stan, what is going on, my friend? Gina French, SC Catahulas, Tim's Fish Room. I know I missed a couple people there. My apologies. Bottom Dweller Aquatics, Kaler's Aquatics, Pepper Jelly, Geek Boy, Florida Fish Rescue, Deb Hall D, Sandy Dowdy again, Paul Sotero, The Zen Ginger, and so many more. Appreciate you all hanging out here. We got 59 people watching, 36 thumbs ups. Thank you very much for that. And we have got a couple super chats if you want me to go ahead and holler those out to you there. You've got Pepley Creek Aquatics threw a $3 super sticker in there with the cute little My Hero Fox. Absolutely love that. Thank you very much for that, Peplin. Rich T is in here dropping another pile of fertilizer on the stream with that $1 super sticker. Greatly appreciate that, Rich T.
Yes, Rich, thank you.
Have also got, I'm going to have to get a flow for your channel with the super chats. I'm still getting adjusted to the hellos and the super chats and stickers. Tim's Fish Room throwing a $1 pile of fertilizer on there as well. Thank you for the super pooper chat, Tim. And Rico Stan with that $10 super chat says, my first super sticker for my buddy Ed. Love that you have this now. Rico, thank you very, very much.
Yes,
we're going to have to get you set up where you can see your super stickers yourself so that you can thank these people. Not that I mind doing it, but just so that they can hear from you and they don't think I'm taking over your show. I do it for a purely technical standpoint because I was asked to do it. So,
well, that was really cool of Rico. And I do a show with Rico on Mondays at 8 o'clock, and we talk about comic books, but then we talk about a little bit of everything else. Check Rico out. He's really cool. But his best show of the week is actually on Tuesday, not with me, but when he interviews people. It's amazing. And he's interviewed some awesome people. He's going to be interviewing Sean tomorrow. I think he's interviewed Bob. Has he interviewed you too, James?
He did, yeah. So it was super fun. I
know Kenny. He's just interviewed a whole mess of great people, and he's just got really cool questions. It's just a lot of fun.
It really, really is. So I'm going to grab these 3 that have popped up real quick. I see we've got Sean here. So we'll pull him up and get you set up. And then we will, of course, come back and address those. But I'll be reading off questions and stuff from the chat throughout this while they do their thing. Kaler's Aquatics with the $1 super pooper sticker. Thank you very much for that, Bob. John McKenzie throwing that pooper sticker on there as well. Thank you for that $1 super sticker, John. Geek Boy with a $10 super sticker with the thank you exercise pair there with the little headband going on. Thank you very, very much, Geek Boy. Appreciate all of you all supporting my buddy Chattanooga Ed here. And Mike's Aquatics and Things throwing a $20 super sticker at you, Ed, with that awesome Samurai Fox with the trophy.
Oh,
so very
man.
Cool. So very nice of you, Mike. I've got
thank you so much, Mike.
Some stuff from Mike that we're going to show in one of the upcoming live streams, but always great to see you. And again, thank you very much for your support. We've got some more rolling in that we will get to, but without further ado, let's bring up our buddy, our pal, Sean Peck of Peck Tech.
Sean. Thanks, Sean, for joining us.
Thanks.
A lot of you guys. Oh, you bet. One thing that Sean is amazing at fish tanks, but he's also an incredible painter. And he paints miniatures. His wife's an amazing painter of paintings, but he does like miniatures and stuff that are super cool. And I was going to ask you about this one. Have you ever painted one of these with the clear plastic?
Oh no!
I bought a shark to practice on. I bought this shark. I was going to practice doing this clear stuff before I tackled the Cthulhu. But
you should try the contrast paints.
Contrast paints.
Have you heard of those?
Yes. They kind of sink in.
Oh yeah, they're kind of like an ink almost.
Yeah, the inks. And the inks are really cool. I kind of make my own inks because I just take a lot of water and put the little bit of paint in it, and then
contrast paints are like
off.
The contrast paints are almost like you can take you can make your own contrast paint too. Basically, you take the paint and you can mix it with a little bit of Dawn dishwashing soap, and it's called matte medium. It's basically this kind of white medium that you can add in there and mix it together, or you can buy the Citadel ones that are all perfectly formulated and stuff. But those do great. Those do really, really good with on those clear things, like as far as because they're still kind of translucent.
So we've
I'm trying to remember who the Citadels are.
Got a question here. Says, this is from Aquatic Dan the Man. Says, Chattanooga Ed, what do you think of air dry clay and or milliput as alternatives to polygem, as quoted a million times in the TV show Tanked?
Well, I have some air dry clay. It's actually I bought a whole block of it. It's like a 5-pound block, and I was going to experiment with it last year, but my bed broke, and so I used it as a block underneath my bed to keep my bed level. So I haven't actually used it yet. I was like, the corner of my bed like fell in it fell off the box spring. And I was like, what do I do? And so I grabbed my clay and stuck it there, and it's worked perfectly. So I need to buy another 5-pound bucket of that and try it. Because that would definitely be cool. Have you ever used that, Sean?
No, I haven't used that before.
Well,
sounds cool.
Yeah, maybe I'll make a 10-minute video or something on it sometime.
Very nice.
That'd be good.
And I have absolutely no input on it because I'm not familiar with it. Dave's Aquarium Thoughts threw a $1 super sticker at us with the smiley face emoji. Thank you very much for that, Dave. And we've got some questions here. Rocking Fish says, have you decided if you're leaving Friday or Saturday for Cincinnati?
I think we're going to be leaving Friday and coming home on Saturday. That's our goal. Because even though I haven't really discussed it yet, I was going to talk to James about it after the stream because, he's got his show tomorrow night, and I don't know if we will be in the car doing it at home by then or what. So I got to talk to Sean, not Sean, but James about that tomorrow, or after the show.
There we go. Yeah, I think we're probably going to leave out tomorrow, but we will definitely be there. I'm looking forward to meeting some of you all up there. That's like we talked about in the previous stream. That's one of my favorite parts is the camaraderie and the hanging out with other fish nerds part. So looking forward to that very much. We got Bird Garden in here. Our buddy Rack throwing a $20 super chat. Says, let me see if I can pull this up here. I am repainting chess pieces. What is a good primer?
Well, I like the Citadel black. There's also white, but
there's a bone too that's really good. That whole lot, the Citadel paints are good. They tend to be kind of expensive. A lot of people go with the an Army painter has some kind of comparable primers too, but a lot of people use Krylon.
Yeah, I had these for showing people on a different stream how the difference between using black, gray, and white, how different, it does different things with the colors on the paints of your models, which is awesome. But yeah, even gray isn't bad too, because then you're right in the middle. I like using black though, because it really it makes your shadows already kind of pop in there. Now, Sean, maybe you go white because you really have great colors already in your stuff.
I started using those contrast paints, and they're very affected by what you put underneath it. So I've started going white. I usually I'll start with something primed in white, or if it's like a robot or something that's mostly metal, like this is like a Krylon gunmetal color, and a lot of times, so if it's mostly metal, maybe I'll paint it the metal one. But if it's something like a person with a uniform and a lot of detail or something, I'll use the bone colored Citadel paint, and supposedly it's especially made for contrast paint. But I've used other ones and they work too. But I tend to work up from white.
Yeah, the one key is don't go with the 99 or 95 cent, 97 cent stuff from Walmart, because it can really be drippy and fill in your details. So that's why I don't go super cheap.
And that's good information because I'm a fairly cheaper end kind of guy, so it's good to know stuff like that.
Okay,
well, when you buy a model and it's when a model's like $20, $30, you're scared to death of messing it up with the primer. You can get them back. You can wash that primer off with like dishwashing detergent and stuff. You can strip it off, but what a pain.
Yeah, I've never done it. I'll just give up on it and start over with a new model. You
can do it. A lot of people buy used models because they're so expensive and then strip them. Especially the old stuff. And the metal ones are really easy to do. You don't see a lot of that anymore, though.
Well, that's what I've got here is a metal one. I started this on Pam Punchy Paints stream on Saturday night. She has an art show, kind of, and everybody gets to go up there and we talk and we paint. And it's just a lot of fun. It starts at 11 o'clock on Saturday nights. And so this guy was solid black. And did you guys see what Sean had? I glue everything to a pill bottle, but it was kind of a last minute thing. So I just grabbed him out of my big box and started painting him. And I still haven't glued him to a pill bottle. But Sean has a nifty little handheld one that has like a little hook on the side.
Yeah, so you can hold it without. I'm trying to figure out my camera is. Okay, so you can hold it without touching your miniature. You can kind of like hold it in a bunch of different ways and rest your hand on it. If you need to do something really fine, you can kind of rest your hand on it and give yourself some more stability for these little tiny things. I bought this on Kickstarter, and it's on a bottle cap. This is a blue tack, which is a lot easier to take off than glue if you're really gluing them down. Get you some blue tack. Man, this stuff's amazing. So you stick. It's a bottle cap. This is like a 2-liter bottle cap.
I was going to ask. I thought that's what that looked like. That's neat.
Yeah. So I have 1 million of these. Oh, did I win? Anyway, so I got like 1 million of these with blue tack on them, and usually when I set up a project, if I'm gonna do a bunch, I'll just get them all on these things and I can swap them out. So like if I get to a point where I need to wait for something to dry, I can just kind of. Well, now it's not wanting to come off. Okay, but I've got it twisted down too tight now. But
well, that's really
unscrew these and put it back. So
I've seen the type that have a grip on it. They kind of squeeze. It's got the little thumb guard thing.
Yeah,
but it's got a little thing that snaps down.
Mm-hmm.
And you open it and it kind of squeezes it. But I've never bought those. I need to buy one someday just to make life.
This was a Kickstarter. It's probably $10, maybe. And I saw it on a video. A guy called Watch It Paint It. He made a video about it, and I decided to use it.
Well, awesome. Okay, so you guys, You guys can ask us anything you want, and we will answer it, or we'll try.
There you go. Bird Garden, a huge thank you for that super chat. Very much appreciated. Rack, because I don't believe I said thank you when I was reading that out.
You know what? While you're talking to Rack, he said he was doing chess pieces. What is it, like a Civil War deal? Like it's North versus South, or presidential, or just normal traditional chess pieces?
I will keep an eye out for that answer in the chat. And we've got Mr. Fish Sir throwing a $1 super sticker in there. Let me see if I can find what it was in the actual chat here. I was trying to stay up at some questions. There it was. It was a $sign smiley face. Thank you very much for that, Brad. Mr. Fish Sir, appreciate that. Good to see you. I'm going to scroll back up here because we did have some highlighted questions and comments. Where was it at? There it was. No, not where I was.
Brad is a super cool guy.
And we've got a couple people mentioning going to the Cincinnati event. Yeah, if you're there, by all means, come up and say hi to us. We love talking to people and hanging out.
We'll have stickers.
Yeah, we'll have stickers. So please don't hesitate to come up and say hi to us. Because that's the, at least for me, like the biggest thing in going is hanging out with other fish nerds and getting to meet people, especially, you awesome people that have hung out in the chat and on YouTube and talked to us for so long. Getting to meet you all is always a pleasure.
Yeah. Normally I say, look for the guy with the red beard and that'll be me, but I'll be wearing a mask.
Yeah. Well, with all of the quarantining stuff, I've got my Fish Room Fever mask, and I'll probably wear my Fish Room Fever shirt. That way it's pretty hard not to know for sure, because last thing I want to somebody go, oh, well, I wasn't sure if it was you, so I didn't come up and say hi. So, yeah, just look for the guy that's got all of his own merch on, and that'll be me.
And I'll wear a Fish Room Fever shirt also.
There we go. Tim's Fish Room says, Fish Room Fever, sorry I missed some YouTube videos from Fish Fam, but I've been recovering from another shoulder surgery. Tim, I'm just glad that you're recovering. I think that's your fourth one, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm glad that you're doing better and glad to have you back hanging out. No apologies needed. I'm just glad that you are all right. Paul Sotero says, Fish Room Fever, I found the key to success in breeding sturbies. Clean your eheim. There were 12 fry in the trays. Have no idea how they're getting past the intake sponge. So I have found that generally we use a fairly porous intake sponge with good reason. We don't want it to clog all the time. And we want to, we're generally getting the finer particulate with the actual filter versus the pre-filter sponge. But Cory fry are super, super, super small. Like I've got some macro video of some little panda Corys, and those things are ridiculously small. So it wouldn't surprise me that even with a medium porosity pre-filter sponge that they're getting through there. But congrats on finding some babies in there.
Yeah, that's super cool. Especially sturbies. They're super cool fish.
Down through there. Rocking Fish says, how far away do you live from Ed? I don't know if that was to Bob, because I know that they were talking back and forth. I think it was to Bob, because they were talking back.
Well,
so we'll leave that, but not too far.
Bob lives 23 miles from me, but it takes about 45 minutes because you got to go through like a curvy mountain road, which really stinks. But I still love going over to Bob's town. He lives in a town named Cleveland, and I live in a town named Dayton, but we aren't from Ohio. It's kind of bizarre.
So Aquatic Dan the Man says, for all, if you had the opportunity, would you set up your own fish stores or collaborate between all three to open a store? I would collaborate. I mean, if I'm going off of the premise that we are in the mindset that we are opening a fish store, I think the answer from us would probably be that we're not opening a fish store. But if you go under the premise that, yes, we're definitely doing it, then I'm going to want to collaborate.
Yeah, it seems like it'd be it's an awfully hard venture for one person. Not that people, singular people do it all the time, but I don't know. Not this singular person.
Right.
Yeah. I think if I was going to open a business, I would probably open up a restaurant that had a movie theater in it, or like a big screen, and then I would even have balcony seating. But I would name it Bourbon Street and serve like dinners all day long, and you just watch whatever black and white films are up there. Have a bar, and then have connected to the bar, I'd have a reception hall for like weddings and things. But then your bar could, service both sides. And then like at 10 o'clock, clear everybody out, and you could see like Jaws, and we serve swordfish. I think that'd be awesome.
There you go.
I used to think about that when I was working at the factory.
I wanted a fish store for a long time. I think a lot of fish keepers kind of get that. At some point, they get to that point where they're like, oh, I could just be doing this all the time. I think Corey from Aquarium Co-op made me want to store the most.
Yeah, it would definitely be nice. And he's not got like a large store in terms of square footage. I mean, he doesn't need one. And he's gone into the pros and cons of, additional square footage, but it's not like a massive, massive store. Like somebody might think, oh, Aquarium Co-op's got a store. I bet it's huge. Square footage wise, it's really not. It's appropriately sized, I think is the best way to put it. But it would definitely be fun.
But for him, it's like this endless source of content too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that would probably be one of the coolest things, especially, in this particular case where it's the three of us, is each of us having our own strong points, if you will, and then being in kind of different areas. So being able to see the content that would come from that, as well as the actual store itself, I think would be really cool. Good question.
But yeah, it would be fun. I also like if you won the lottery, and could start any store. I used to always want to buy a cathedral or a Catholic church and open up a gaming store because I thought that would be fun.
Very cool. So let me ask you, this is my question. This is not out of the chat. Have either of you gentlemen seen the free arcade that's open in Nashville?
No.
No.
Yeah, it was actually, I won't say who it was. It was a fellow YouTuber that may at some point get out this way if we can hold that.
Ochart?
I'm not going to say who it was. I don't know if he wants me to say. But he's potentially going to be in the Knoxville area at some point when we could do that Aquaticon event. And he's like, hey, this would be a good meetup place. And he sent me the link to it. And it's actually got like 150 free arcade games. They're all set to free play. So you go in there, they turned an open air market into an adult arcade. And then at like 8 or 9 p.m., that's 21 and up only. They've got 2 bars and they've got rotating food trucks that come on site. But theoretically, you could go in there, play for free, not spend any money. They've got like their pinball machines are like $1 a play, and they've got a couple premium games that they charge for. But the majority of it's free to play. And I thought that was really cool. And I didn't know if you all had heard of it because I hadn't until that individual sent me a link for it.
I've never heard of that.
No, but I saw there's a bar in Knoxville that has pinball machines.
And board games.
Oh, has board games also?
Yeah, that one that's near, I guess, the Dollar Movies, maybe?
Okay.
It's a little shopping center. It's called Token. No, is it Token?
Yes, okay. It is Tokens.
Yeah, they have board games too, and some game tables, like board game tables.
Well, that's cool. I like that.
I'll just stay here.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I got more board games I can play at my house. So
yeah, you do.
It's the kind of I've seen it advertised on Board Game Geek because a lot of people meet up there because it's like if you got that strangers from the internet thing where you don't necessarily want to just invite people you've never met before to your house. It's a good place to kind of like go game with somebody and see if they're crazy or not.
Hey guys, the cat knocked over my water. I'm gonna go get some more water. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Alrighty. So GRB Aquatic says, what metal do they use to make these miniatures? The 70s D&D miniatures were made of lead, I believe.
They switched to pewter in the 80s. And now because the way plastics are, they're 99.9% of all miniatures now are all plastic. There's different types of PVC. They use like a harder PVC for things like guns. Like they can even do different types of plastic within the miniature. So a lot of these will be with more flexible parts will be like a one kind of PVC, and there's a harder kind that they'll use for things like guns, so they don't get all bendy, guns and swords and stuff.
Makes sense.
But nowadays they're almost all plastic, and they do some really amazing detail with their plastic stuff. But
So
there were pewter just prior to that. They kind of went to pewter because it's not poisonous as far as poisonous.
right. So Sean was asking, and this is in the chat, and I'm sorry I didn't get to this question in the previous live chat, Sean. It says 60-gallon tall live bear tank with guppies, mollies, platy, and one pink kissing gourami, but last week found 3 adult fish dead, one every other day. Thoughts? It's a planet tank and the water is good.
Wow. And there's no particular fish that's been super aggressive recently. That would be, yeah. Sometimes it's another fish, and sometimes, I've had mysterious deaths that I kind of thought were from food, like maybe I got some bad food or something was bad in it. Especially like I had a bunch of fish die once, not a bunch, but I had like 3 fish that seemed healthy die once, and it ended up, I think it was the frozen food that I was using. Like I just fed on this kind of frozen food, and it'd been there for a little while, but it should be, should have been okay. But
that can definitely happen. I have definitely seen some reports food related. And another thought for me, and this is again assuming that your water is good, because I hate to second guess anybody, even though the general population, which I'm not attributing to the people that are hanging out, 11, 12 o'clock at night in a fish stream on YouTube, but the average fish keeper, like, my water's fine, but then you test it and it's really not. But I'm going on the premise that your water is legitimately good. You mentioned it being a live bear tank. A lot of those fish are not necessarily super long lived, and with them being adults, if you can't actually date, how old they are, it could potentially be old age. Even with it being a couple within a week, I mean, if they were from the same brood or the same batch, they could be the same age, and it could have just been their time.
How long did he have the fish before they started dying?
I'm not sure, but I'll try and keep a lookout for that in the chat.
Because if they were brought up in salt, it may have just taken their organs that long to fall apart.
Absolutely. Anthony W. asking, what's the best paint to use for my window trim? I'm not sure, but you definitely have to use one of these little brushes that Ed and Sean are using when you paint your window trim.
Yes, that's the best.
Yeah. Just
Make
throw
a week of it.
just throw on one of the playlists of the live streams and just paint to your heart's content, right?
That's right. I've got a podcast for you if you need to take a long time to do something.
Absolutely. And for $3, you can go to Patreon and get the sneak peek and get all of the Sean Peck Tech videos in advance. So S is asking, what time are we going? And that would be to the Cincinnati event. I feel like it's going to be packed.
I think we'll probably be there early.
Yeah.
And we'll be there until the end.
Yep.
Probably. Because that's how we like to just talk.
We really
Talking is more important than shopping to us.
Yeah, I mean, we've been run out of some places before because we like to hang out and talk. The employees come out after the store's closed to go, what are you people still doing out here? But yeah, we'll definitely be there for a good bit of time. So by all means, feel free to come say hello and hang out and chat. Aquatic Dan the Man asking if I'll send stickers to the UK. Yes, absolutely. Just send me your address. I'll send stickers anywhere. It doesn't cost that much more for me to mail stickers across the globe. So be happy to do that for you.
Talk about stickers. When is Sean Peck going to have stickers?
I really need to get on that. I had set up some stickers with my logo through, was it Teespring?
Mm-hmm.
But
That's what I got on right here.
But they're kind of huge. Like they're big and they're expensive. And so I'd like to make some smaller stickers. You guys have to show me how you did that. Did you go on Redbubble or what service did you use?
So I went through Print Runner, but of course, Jason at Jadron Aquatic, he does stickers as well. I know a lot of the fish fam has gone through him. We just the timing.
He works for a printing place. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people have gone through him, and I definitely encourage supporting him. Just the timing and communication when I was doing mine didn't quite work out. I ordered 4,000 the last time I ordered mine, so I'm not due to order anymore just yet. But I can definitely recommend them, or like I said, Jason Jadron Aquatics.
Yeah, Jason's really cool. If you order some from him, he will send you one of all the other Fish Fam ones too. So it's a great way to get a whole bunch of other people's.
I need to get those little. He at the Aquashella. He had printed out all these like things. I guess I didn't pay close attention to the Facebook group for that. And apparently everybody got together and they had all these nice little cards made, like these little printout things with your photos and stuff that people could get for autographs and things like that. So I didn't have anything and everybody else did. And I was like, oh man, I need to do that. So maybe I'll contact him and get a couple of things just in case the convention thing picks up this year, which I hope it does.
So
go ahead.
I was just say I found Rack Berggarden's response. He says regular chess pieces of high quality, a House of Staunton, working on a digital art project with a physical redeemable cryptocurrency NFT related.
That's cool.
That's a bunch of words.
Yeah. I have a question for Rack. I was wondering, do blue jays ever steal the eggs of woodpeckers? Because if I was a stealer of eggs, I would not steal from a woodpecker. I thought about that last week, and I was like, I gotta ask Rack that.
Apparently, there will be several people wearing Fish Room Fever shirts at this convention because Tom Patterson says I'll be wearing a Fish Room Fever shirt too. So look for the guy with the Fish Room Fever mask on and the Fish Room Fever shirt. That'll be me. And I appreciate that, Tom. I really do. Looking forward to seeing you, buddy. It's been a while since we saw you last.
I'll probably be the biggest guy wearing a Fish Room Fever shirt. Tom's awesome.
Let me scroll back up here because the chat jumped on me.
His wife's awesome too, and his son. They're just
hey guys. Fair warning. I guess my phone doesn't charge while I'm streaming or something. Like I'm sitting here plugged into the wall, and I keep getting low battery warnings. So I've got another phone because I'm ridiculous and I have a bunch of phones. I've got another phone charging, so if I just suddenly disappear, I'll be back.
Gotcha, and I'll keep an eye out for you backstage so I can bring it back up. Brad, Mr. Fish Sir, joking about us having to go south and pick him up before we head north.
Oh, it'd be cool. Brad is a nifty guy. And then if he had a Fish Room Fever shirt on, then I would not be the biggest guy with a Fish Room Fever shirt on. Brad looks like he could have definitely have been an NFL left tackle.
So Sean coming back, who has had the issue with the 60-gallon with the live bears and the kissing grommy, says, I was just wondering if the pink kissing grommy is getting big and is aggressive at night after the light's out. That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen those things get aggressive before.
Or early in the morning, a lot of times they hunt, a lot of fish hunt at dawn. So as soon as light kind of comes into the windows or in the time when you wouldn't necessarily be up watching them, they could be, it could be lunchtime or dinner time for them. Those kissing grommies are I've never kept them, but aren't they pretty aggressive? Or you said pink grommy?
Yeah, pink kissing gourami. In my experience, they definitely can be. I found that, again, in my experience, a lot of gouramis can get fairly aggressive. So that's entirely possible.
I mean, that's what the kissing behavior is a dominance display. So if they name them after something they do a lot, I mean, it's probably an aggressive fish. I keep explaining that to my wife when she wants a Jack Dempsey. It's like, you know why they call it that, right?
Right.
Because it likes to fight.
So John's Fish Room says everyone stop by Aquarium Artisans after. It's right down the street from the event. Haha. I'm assuming that is your store that I saw you mention earlier in the chat, John.
Wow.
We definitely would love to go check out a fish store while we're in the neighborhood.
Yeah, if that's his store, I would love to make a 5-minute video there.
I would love to make a 6-minute video there. No.
Well, for people that like long videos, watch his. For people that like normal, watch mine.
Rico Stan, yes, I did get mail from you. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I'm going to be showing that off along with the other mail probably next Thursday, because we usually have more people on Thursday so they can see your sticker and check out your channel. Because I like to, when people send me stickers and they've got channels, show that off and help promote their channel.
Yeah.
Fish Room says, I got some plecos for you at the shop. Fish Room Fever. Yeah, I'll be there. Yep. You got plecos? Yep. Let's do it.
I saw some zebra plecos today. What do you think of that?
I love them. You didn't pick them up and bring them to my house immediately?
No. It was funny because someone ordered 15 of them. And in Bob's stream yesterday, he says, "Hey, Ed, I've got a personal question for you. Can I ask you?" And I said, yes, but he didn't read me saying yes. And he said, "Did you buy 15 zebra plecos?" And then he read my yes. And he says, "I knew it was you." And I was like, wait, no. It was not me. I wish I could afford 15 zebra plecos.
Apparently those things taste amazing. The natives eat them.
Right, Japanese people do too, because they like really expensive fish.
Yeah.
Well, they eat everything.
So Aquatic Den Man says, Ed and Sean, considering you're doing model miniatures, I also do, would you consider setting up a tank bottom with figures, obviously fish safe, as a terrain with buildings?
Yeah, I thought about doing that a bunch of times, but the paint doesn't last long, and you can seal it and stuff. But I think like even these simple miniature, like I don't know what Ed thinks, but even sometimes these simple ones, they just take so much time to make. It's hard to stick them underwater and let algae grow all over it and stuff.
Yeah, it's you can use the Krylon clear coat to seal it in, but I feel the same way. Well, the miniatures cost so much too, so it's not a lot of work. Like I've got dozens of these troll bloods. You know, if I made them look like they were going to go fight somebody else, but yeah, that would be expensive.
I always get caught up in the scale too. Like I want them to be in a thing that was in scale, and the plants would just, and the fish, of course, would make it look weird. Like I wouldn't want to make a scene that looks like it's meant to be above water, underwater. I think that would annoy me. But I'm always on the lookout for a miniature I can paint and stick in a tank, because I think that would be fun. I think it would be a neat thing to do. But I haven't come across one I'm willing to submerge yet.
Right. I can understand that. Sorry, I'm looking for a link here, and then I'll be right back to the chat. Somebody was asking about shirts. So I'm going to throw the link in there for the Teespring. Normally I don't throw it out there. It's in my video descriptions. But since somebody asked for it, and grab that. You can also get the Chattanooga Ed shirt on there as well.
Yep. You can. It's on the Fish Room Fever site.
And we've got who was it? Somebody was joking. Oh, Rocking Fish was saying, "I'll make a 10-minute video there." Yeah,
That's an epic.
Yeah, then you can insert the mid-roll ads. No, I'm just kidding. I had to pull those because YouTube went stupid. I've noticed on a lot of people's videos they're doing that. I have the premium, so I don't see them, but I still see the little splices. And it's like, hey, you've got an hour-long video. We're going to throw 23 commercials in there. I was like, no, you're not. Sorry.
I noticed that too with these ones that I did. Like I let it automatically pick where the ads go, and then I went back the next day to look at them, and God, there must have been it threw like 30 ads in there.
Yeah, it'll do that because I didn't realize it until because again the premium. I had people commenting like, "There's an ad every 2 minutes," and I was like, "Okay, they're just saying," and the 2 minutes is probably not literal. Maybe it's a couple ads in there. And I was like, "Nope, it's like every 2 minutes," and so I just turned it off. I was like, "This is ridiculous."
Well, you can pick where they go. I mean, it's a lot more work, but
you can. But I've just found that I make nothing from ads on a channel my size, so.
I've made $1.75.
There you
from
go.
Ads.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's still not too bad since I've only been monetized for
it's not. And so I'll be honest, I mentioned my most recent video that I put out, it's doing like 4 to 5 times better than my other videos have in terms of performance. I think it's paid like $6 or $7 just off of the pre-roll ad that plays at the beginning that you can skip. And I was quite shocked by that. And I'm perfectly happy with that. I don't see a need to put mid-roll ads in there to try and add to that because I don't want to bug people with those. But
yeah, I hate ads because, I just like to watch. And so we made sure that if I had ads, it would only be at the very beginning and end. And then I hope that it doesn't cut up. That was something I was going to ask you, James, if it was going to mess up my cool song for some people.
Shouldn't.
Well, because I don't pay to have them removed, and I always miss the first couple seconds of Get Gills from Dan.
What do you mean pay to have them removed?
With the premium version, where I have premium, so I don't see ads and I can turn my screen off. If you have the free version of YouTube as a viewer.
Oh, that's right. But are you talking about on your videos, Ed?
No, I just mean when I watch other people's videos, I see their video or I see their commercials. But I want it so when people come onto my live stream, they don't have to see a video right away. I want them to be able to see my cool song.
Right. So I've done.
So I do this in the background.
We're gonna bore 27 people to death in the chat, but what I have done. I've got yours the same way mine is. I don't monetize my live streams until the next day, and they don't make any money, but that's fine. That way, that doesn't happen. So there's no ad on this right now when people came over, and then after the fact, I'll turn it on monetized. That way, it doesn't have a delay at the beginning. So people come over when it's live, and they see it. When you're watching it after the fact, it shouldn't interfere because it should play the ad and then start from the very beginning. But to answer some questions in the chat, Rebecca Jackson, yes, I did get your email, and yes, I will send you Ed's sticker as well because I'll be able to get some from him tomorrow. That's part of why I've been holding off, is a lot of people wanted Ed stickers, and I didn't really see a point in mailing off my stickers this past week and then sending out Ed stickers and paying double postage the next week because Ed does not have an email address set up for that. I did post a link for the Teespring in there. Thank you for asking about that, Aquatic Dan the Man. And then Bird Garden had mentioned jays are nest robbers, not aware of blue jays robbing woodpecker nests, however.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if they were afraid of the woodpeckers.
Oh, and the Zen Ginger, of course, had posted the link for Teespring. So thank you for that, Zen. I knew the kids were not driving you up the wall, but I know they were giving you a hard time with trying to mod. So I appreciate you doing that.
And then, sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Well, while we have racks here, do robins smell the worms or hear the worms? Because I was watching robins yesterday, and every time they went down, they pulled a worm out. and I'd see him kind of going like this and turn his head and it, bam, pull it out. And
Well,
it's
the eyes are on
amazing.
the side of their head.
Yeah, but the worms are underground.
Oh.
Unless they're not.
Let's see. So yeah, not to digress too far into YouTube, which I do miss talking YouTube stuff because we used to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun with that. But maybe I'll start doing more of that on my other channel because I miss doing that with you all, and I know some people have requested it. But somebody mentioned making more on Super Chats. Yes, absolutely, and the memberships helps as well. But Super Chats is honestly where all of my revenue comes in from. And then in terms of percentage, it varies 30-40%. I've heard some creators, have got in their quote unquote contract that YouTube gets 40%. But yeah, they take a good part of it. Now, my perspective is on it. We have a free platform. Ed and Sean and myself and everybody else, we can come on here and post for free. YouTube doesn't charge us to store our content or to access this platform or to, share with the world and interact with you all. So I'm okay with that. I know some people complain about it, but I'm just in the perspective that they're providing a free place to put content. And the majority of people that are putting content on YouTube are not giving YouTube a return on investment. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Looking good, Ed.
I'm just doing like little
nice.
Details right now. Like I painted his sword. I did it in a pewter and what was this called? Rough iron for the front part. Because I really didn't want to do gold. You see gold on big swords a lot, but for trolls, I don't think they'd have gold. So
nah. It needs something a little bit more rough.
Yeah, like they have these little things underneath that are like little badges of wars and stuff that they wear. I do those in copper because I think copper would be their top metal.
Yeah. That'd be shiny for them.
So let's see here. Go. Sean was saying in the chat, by the way, Ed, where did you get those swordtail guppies? I saw some on your snail trap video. I never knew there was a swordtail guppy. Love to get a trio or something.
Well, let me tell you, where Sean live, is this the one that Sean, the live bear guy, or we lost
Yeah,
Sean.
that was asking about the his live bear tank.
We'll meet up somewhere, and I'll give you however many you want. I'll give you 15 of them or something. They're Mod Guppy swordtails, and he has been working on this line to compete in the IFGA, but they do not eat their fry. So I literally have 3 20 longs packed with these guppies. And I gave like 8 or 9 of them to Bob, and now he has a tank filled with them. So it's like these are the most prolific guppies in the world. So Sean, I'd be more than happy to give you some if you want them. But so it's a lot easier to meet than to ship.
Absolutely. So, and this is one reason I do enjoy talking to you all about YouTube stuff, is I get instant feedback and I get made aware of things. A lot of people are saying they still see an ad coming into my stream. I was unaware of that, and there's nothing I can do at this point if you're still seeing an ad, because I don't have ads turned on for my live streams. Like right now, the monetization for the stream that you all just watched on my channel is turned off. So it's interesting to know that there's still running an ad on it. And if that's the case, I may start turning it on, because if they're going to push an ad anyways, I should get credit for it. And I'm not getting credit for any ads that are running right now on those until, the next day when I turn it on. Well, it's very interesting to know, and I appreciate that feedback.
Did they see one coming into mine?
I'm curious. I know they mentioned that they still see them coming into the streams. Hey, Mainstails Fur and Fins. How's it going, Jess? Hope you're doing well.
Jess is so cool. I was giving her the business yesterday. She was on and she didn't even catch it because she was having too much fun talking. She was on Rob 96, 94. What's Rob's channel's name? Well, she was on Rob's channel, and it was really a good episode. But she also has her own channel that she's awesome on. And she also does shows with Chubbs called Down on the Bayou. And she does Brienne's Fish Fam shows. So she's turning into a me, where she does a whole bunch of guest shows, which are hosting, which is really cool.
Absolutely. He's a very awesome person as well. I am keeping an eye out. Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. All right, we got Sean back with us. Welcome back.
Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. What phone are we on now?
This is like an iPhone 7, I think. This is my work phone.
So yeah, I just want to share this because this is really weird to me and I find it fascinating. So I want you all to see this. Let me pop it up here real quick, just so that you all can see that legitimately I don't have it on. Monetization is off for the live stream we just did, and yet people are still getting ads showing. So that's very good.
Thanks.
Yeah, that does, because then I'm not getting credit for it and people are still having to look at an ad. So I appreciate that feedback very much.
Yeah, that's not cool at all.
Yeah.
You know, YouTube released a thing recently where they said that they will collect revenue even if you're not monetized. Like, they'll take all the ad revenue. Like, if you're under 1,000 and you can't monetize,
Yep,
they can still run an ad on it, and then they just keep it all. And
I had seen that. And I honestly didn't even take that into consideration with not monetizing my live streams until the next day. But that makes perfect sense that they would do it. I just saw it and was like, okay. I am curious if the members see ads, because I always set the members' videos to no ads. So I'm curious if they're now pushing ads on the member videos now. And we are still taking questions. I just ran out of questions that I saw in the chat.
Oh, we'll have to do and you guys, people have asked me if I'm going to do membership. I'm not going to, but if you want, go and become a member to James if you haven't already, because I'm more than happy to help him do his stuff, because we're trying to do the brand together, kind of. And hopefully maybe tomorrow we can do a live members and maybe a live fun one from mine, because that'd be kind of cool too. Because I haven't figured out how to do it yet.
And I appreciate that, Ed. Like Ed mentioned, we have like some long-term branding goals, if you will. And we'll definitely do some stuff, some members-only stuff with Ed's tanks and his fish room too, just to help spice things up. We are, after the renewals that came through this week, and I saw a couple of them in here, so thank you, but we are only one member away from being able to upload that newest emoji. So I think next week we'll be able to add that in for the members. We got Xanadu with a $10 super chat, says, congrats again, Ed. Robbins and many other birds, I think, hear the worms moving through the soil. Need stickers, and I need Ed stickers, please. Yes. As long as I've got addresses, I'll be able to get stickers from Ed this weekend, and then I've got probably a dozen people to mail stuff out to. A huge thank you to the individual that sent me some more prepaid postage. I don't know if they want their name mentioned because they sent it anonymously, but I know who they are. But thank you for that and helping to get stickers shipped out. I think
you know what? I want to do a personal thank you also to one of my friends that I've had for over a decade, and she helped me get into the, like, I don't know what multimedia, what's it called when you get on Facebook and all that stuff?
Social media?
Social media.
Social media. Yeah, she helped me get into social media because really I just didn't care. I just, I was just happy in my own world. And she helped me do that. And I just want to say thank you, MJ. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I really think that with everything that's gone on this past year, social media has had a lot more upside to it than it maybe previously did, because it's allowed people to stay connected / get connected through a time that, 20 or 30 years ago, I'm sure you would have seen a lot more people dealing with things more harshly, where they, trapped in their homes for long periods of time. So let me find my chat again. The models are coming along beautifully, gentlemen.
So, Sean, what are you doing as a model there?
This is a character from a game that I got last year about this time, and haven't gotten around to painting or playing yet. But it's called Reich Busters, and it's a Weird World 2 is what they call this genre. Like, it's World War II, but it's science fiction. It's an awful lot like if you saw that first Captain America, where they had that strange power source and they were making things. So in this one, the Germans get some kind of alien technology, and they start making crazy weapons. Like, this is called a Vril Panzer.
Nice.
But these are all the heroes, and it's a cooperative game where you go in and you fight the Nazis and their strange mutants and stuff. But you have like an international coalition, and this lady is she's a Russian sniper. And I actually bought a paint set that's supposed to go with this game. That's the name of it. And it came with this special edition character. This is an alternate pose for this thing. So I'm just kind of using this as a guide for what colors are supposed to be. I tend to paint science fiction things. Like I don't go for really normal stuff. But this paint set sucks. I haven't even pulled it out. It's a paint set specifically for this game. So I was like, oh well, I'll just grab that paint set. I can take it upstairs. But it's just not that great. Would you guys like to see other things I've painted?
We'd love to.
Finished stuff.
Well, and your layout, which I know is downstairs, but your layout in terms of your actual paint area that you have set up in the living room-ish area where you can listen to TV is mind-blowing. What, you got a couple hundred paints there, it seems like.
Yeah, it's quite a set. Here's from Death May Die Season 2. With some crazy looking monsters.
Wow, that's awesome.
And this is that contrast paint. Saves you a lot of time. It goes.
When you said Death May Die, you mean Cthulhu May Die?
Yeah, this is the Season 2 box. Have you gotten into that yet?
Yes. No, no, I have not.
Do you have it?
I mean, I haven't painted anything from it. I do. I have every single thing.
Yeah, this is. I painted. I'm now completely painted up with Death May Die, and these are all monsters from that Season 2. They're really crazy looking. Cthulhu
I've got some
monsters.
that are primed. I've got the primed ones, but I haven't started yet.
I like the Sailor Man.
Nice.
Yeah. My favorite guy to play is oh no, I'm trying to remember his name.
I don't know that guy.
Ernest Hemingway.
Oh yeah,
he's my favorite character to play.
Have you seen Zombicide Invader? So CMON, when it does miniatures, a lot of times they'll take from IP. So this is Doc from Back to the Future
Huh.
with like a crazy backpack on. But doesn't he? I don't know if is it blurry. Can you even see him?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Might be hard to see.
Oh, hey, James,
other
could you
stuff,
make Sean like the full screen?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I was picking through some stuff in the chat. There we go.
And this is a
There's
zombie
Doc
side
from-
game?
Yeah, this is Zombie Side Invader. It's like a science fiction zombie side. And let's see, here's Rick from Rick and Morty.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And I guess this would be Evil Morty since he's got the eye patch. Not really my best paintings, though. Kind of fun. Oh, and Harrison Ford from, what was it? Blade Runner?
Yep.
And up here on the platform, looking at the big robot, here's Stephen Hawking
Ah,
Oh, neat.
in a big robot wheelchair. If he
That's
really had
awesome.
one of these, he would have really liked that, I think.
Oh, I'm
Mhm.
sure. So we've got about
Got the
5
big
minutes
Titan.
before Dave's Aquarium Thoughts starts up. And we've got a couple questions I wanted to get in here. Aquatic Dandaman says, what other small animals would you like to keep alongside fish if time and money was no object? I have budgies. Budgies are very cool.
what are bungees?
Budgies, the little birdies.
Oh,
You see this thing looks like a big TV? This is a terrarium, and I'm about to build an enclosure for a crested gecko.
oh, neat.
So that's a little different. It's a pretty neat. I don't have the glass on it yet, but that's the terrarium that I'm going to be using. So there's my answer for that question.
Very cool.
Ed, what about yourself? He's going to say cats, I bet.
No, I don't want any more cats. I had hamsters and they scarred me for life. I've got 2 frogs right now that I've got to get back to their home. I don't know. I've had a cockatiel and I enjoyed having a bird, but I also felt bad having a bird because I like to see him flying in the wild. That's a sweet card.
That is awesome.
Is that got like an
This
electric
is for
ray on it?
this is Micro Gaslands. I made a whole city.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
this is like, so you know how big the Hot Wheels cars are. This is like a really, really tiny version, and I made a city for them to race in.
That is super cool. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't aware of it, Sean Pectec also has a gaming channel. Be sure and check that out. We'll get a link in the chat for you. Let's see, another question here from Stephanie Cooper. Says, Ed, are y'all planning on going to the Carolina Aquatic Expo on April 3rd? I guess I didn't answer that last question, so I'll give my answer real quick before we answer this. It says, I'm a lurker, but curious to see if any fish tubers are going. This will be my first expo. I'm super excited. Congratulations on that. To answer the previous question that I kind of skipped on, I would do tortoises. If money was no object, I'd love to be able to set up to house rare and endangered tortoises. It's one of my favorite parts of going to the zoo is looking at the tortoises. But in terms of that expo, congrats, Stephanie. And we appreciate the lurkers. We really, really do. I know a lot of people forget about them, but I try and thank them every stream because you all make up a huge part of the following and the viewing. So nothing wrong with lurking. A lot of times that just means people are new and they just want to learn, or they're just there to kind of hang out. I lurk a lot myself. Ed, do you know if we're going?
Too.
Ed's my travel manager.
Right now, we are planning on going, and I know that Bob is also going to be going. And I'm not going to say who Bob's bringing, but he's going to bring another YouTuber, probably. But I'd rather Bob announce his news.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, James and I are planning on going to that. Well, that's cool.
And again, for
When is
people that
that
are
one?
asking about stickers, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and Sean, you're more than welcome to come
When
with
is
us.
that event?
It's the first weekend of April, so it'd be like April Fools, I think.
Yeah, it's on April 3rd, so it's kind of.
I'm probably going to be tied up until, well, the movie theaters are supposed to open back up in April.
Oh gosh, I hope so.
So we're all working like crazy to get every kind of update you can do for the servers and get everything all ready to go for like a grand reopening, and just praying that people are going to come to the movie theaters.
I have actually been starting. I've started going back to the movies. There is an independent movie theater in Athens, Tennessee, that shows 11 and 12 o'clock shows. So, like that period, 11 to 12, one show on Wednesdays. So I've been going on Wednesday morning to go see a movie. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, you guys that don't know, I'm addicted to movies. I normally go to 2 or 3 a week, so I've been kind of like jonesing. Yeah, I used to use vacation days for premieres.
Everyone is like that.
I don't know if they're I don't know if there's too many like that because I go by myself a lot.
But yeah, Ed and I, we try to get to as many events as we can. It always helps when they're within a few hours drive of us. And honestly, like you mentioned, memberships and people have asked about Teespring. A lot of that is what makes it possible, at least for myself. So like for this weekend, I haven't touched it since it opened. I've got $58 on Teespring that I've made since we opened that last year. And I'm super grateful for that. So I'm going to pull that out for this weekend, and that will be my fund to maybe get a couple pairs of fish while I'm up there. So it really appreciate everything you all do, because you make it possible for us to do stuff like that, or at least for me anyway. My buddy Ed makes it possible because he's always
it makes a huge difference even with me. Like I obviously I probably get more ad revenue than you guys do, but like the Teespring when people buy on there, you get it really helps. Like all those little different little things help, because YouTube really doesn't pay very well.
Yeah. It's it like you said, having a lot of things, Amazon affiliate links and Teespring and stuff like that. And for the longest time, we had the hashtag 46 cents, where all the merch was set up with just a 46-cent profit, because I appreciate everybody supporting in that way. But yeah, we try and get to as many things as possible. I know at some point we'll be going back up to the Circle City Aquarium Club. Is that what we're of?
Yes, I can't wait till they start having meetings, because I was planning on trying to go to 3 or 4 of them a year. And just because I was kind of forced to retire early because I hurt my back severely. So I'm always looking for fun things to do. And so I joined that club, and I figured I would just, if James can't go, I'll just drive up there on my own and enjoy it.
There you go. Well, we've got Dave is waiting on us very patiently. He said, take our time. But he is queued up next. We will get a link in the chat. For my final words, just want to say I appreciate everybody. We've got, where did it go? 72 people watching and 68 thumbs ups. Appreciate that support from my buddy Chattanooga Ed. All you awesome people that did the super chats and super stickers. For my pal here, thank you very much for that. It's always fun hanging out with you. Ed, as always, thank you for having me on as your co-host. And Sean, it's been fun talking to you as well. And I will turn it to you two gentlemen.
I'll let you go next, Sean, since it's my show.
Well, thank you guys for coming out and watching. I really appreciate it. You may know, you may not know, I've got a series on right now where I talk to a lot of fish YouTubers, and there are going to be some really interesting interviews happening over the next 6 weeks. I'm going to breeze in and catch a few of those. I'd really appreciate it. The long ones on Sundays, and there'll be little clips through the week to kind of tease you out and show you little brief excerpts from within the episodes. And I'm hoping that people like it, because I'd like to do more of it, but I'm going to wait and see what the fans say.
I think it sounds like a great idea, and I'm really hoping that it's very successful and a lot of fun. I'll show you guys he's still not finished, but I've done a lot more detail on my guy. But thank you, Sean, so much for helping tonight and hanging out. And James, it's always a lot of fun hanging out with him. And mods, last week I was just bewildered and I didn't know what I was doing. So I want to make sure that I thank all of my mods because they work so great. But also thank you everybody for coming out, because I'm here more just to hang out and have fun and make friends and stuff. So I really appreciate y'all, and I just I look forward to seeing you in the next show. Oh, and if you do like what you saw tonight, I'll be on tomorrow with Lefty on the Lefty 123A. Is that it?
Lefty 3213A.
Well, nuts. Okay, I'll never get the numbers right. But the Lefty show is a lot of fun. We talk about all sorts of crazy stuff. He tries to stump me on movies. And then we're back with James on Saturday on the Saturday Night Live Fever. We have no idea where we'll be, but we'll be somewhere with live streaming, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
And yep.
Two things I do want to address real quick. Michelle Kinsey asked, obviously I'm new to this because I know nothing about these events. I would love to know about them. Can someone direct me to where I can get information on these? I do not have Facebook. Ed and I used to do every week a breakdown of all the events that were upcoming. We're going to get back into doing that. Probably not this Saturday because we'll be on the road, but maybe starting the following Saturday. So stay tuned. We usually did that over on my channel, Fish Room Fever. But we are going to get back into that. That way you'll be able to kind of find out about these things, because Ed spends a lot of time getting all the information together. So that's the only place that I really know aside from just looking around. And then Sean, a.k.a. Only Fish Guy, with the last minute super chat. $5 super chat says, last minute super chat, LOL, gas money for the trip. We'll love to get those guppies, Ed. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Yep. And Sean, no problem. I've got plenty of guppies. I'd love to give you some. Well, guys, check out Dave from Aquarium Thoughts. He's up next. He's amazing. He really does a great job. He puts a lot of work into his shows. So I guess we'll just all see y'all over there.